We call this one question, two analysts, 3 minutes. And our question today is, who will be Notre Dame's top NFL draft prospects in 2021?
Yeah, a little tougher, actually, to forecast than this time last year. Obviously, you could point to Cole Kmet, Julian Okwara, Khalid Kareem last year, and now Chase Claypool worked his way into it with his outstanding season. So right now, I am going with mini Isaiah Simmons and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah to have a breakout All-American caliber senior season and bypass his fifth year, which would make sense, of course, if he has a year like that, as the top draft prospect on the current roster that is draft eligible, because the best prospect on the roster is a sophomore.
Well, this is more difficult for a lot of reasons. I think that the list of potential guys is pretty long, and we don't have the luxury of them playing, right, having seen the 2020 season.
The Claypool effect.
Right, exactly. But I would concur with you on Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah being right up there, and I think he'll have a good enough year where he's going to be a senior academically and would want to leave. Ade Ogundeji, certainly is in a position now to, he's Notre Dame's lead pass rusher.
Right.
And I think he can put himself in a good position. You've got the offensive linemen that are coming out. Liam Eichenberg probably would sit atop that list right now, but you also have Tommy Kramer and Robert Hainsey. Don't forget Jonathan Dorr. He's going to be a senior in 2020. So, he's going to be eligible. And then, Dalen Hayes, Sean Crawford's probably a little small for the NFL. Brock Wright, another guy I would throw out there. I'm kind of using all my bullets up here, Tim. But if Kevin Austin has a great junior year, he could be a candidate as well.
Yeah, I think Austin would have been my number one candidate had he just been suspended 4 games last year instead of the whole season and played and gotten a body of work. And the guy still hasn't caught a pass against anyone other than Navy of consequence. So he would have to make such an amazing leap. He could be the best offensive weapon on the team next year and not go pro, because he's probably just not polished enough to do it yet. He was the 4th name I wrote down, though. I have to admit, he was the guy I thought outside the box. Number 2 for me is Eichenberg. I think you're looking at a not quite as good. I talked about this on the message board. It's a McGlinchey situation where he wasn't as good as a senior as you wanted him to be, and he was making mistakes that you wouldn't think he would make as a 2-year starter. Going into his 3rd year, 5th year, I think Eichenberg, I'm not saying he becomes a top 10 pick like McGlinchey, but I think Eichenberg is clearly the best pro prospect on the line, even if, let's say, Robert Hainsey grades out the best as he had in the past for Notre Dame. It's just, I don't think he translates like Eichenberg.
Right. Physical dimensions are much different. I did leave one bullet in the chamber, and that's Ian Book. And I do think that Ian Book, he's certainly in a position to put up huge numbers once again, and that would be basically 2 years in a row, numbers wise. Yes. He needs to be more consistent this year. But Ian Book, undersized, of course, not the ideal height and dimensions. But he's going to have a shot to play in the NFL. He's going to be drafted, and he's certainly going to have an opportunity with his knowledge of the game and his accuracy. I think he's going to be on an NFL roster next year.
And remember, and I'm not saying this, people are going to run with this, but as noted last night, Joe Burrow at this point last year was a 6th-round pick. Ian Book doesn't have the greatest wide receiver talent in the world in LSU and everything else around him, but Ian Book right now would be a 7th-round pick or undrafted free agent, or maybe moves into the 6th-round pick range.
I'm not sure that I totally agree with that. I think he would definitely be drafted even right now. But it's
6th or 7th-round pick. Yeah.
Yeah,
so he's got a year to do a Claypool. He has a year to.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to do a Burrow. He's not going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. But no, he certainly, consistency-wise, he has an opportunity to move up. And who had Kurt Heinisch, it probably doesn't fit the dimensions either, but it's a pretty long list of guys. That's it for one question, two analysts, 3 minutes from Irish Illustrated.